everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Bucker Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make this treat box that features the Garden Goodness stamp set from the Stampin' Up! 2019-2020 annual catalog. It's a really fun set. As soon as I saw it, I thought, wow, I can make lots of little treat holders with those cute veggies. So what do you think is inside of it? Actually, I searched high and low for lots of different treats to actually go with the stamp set. So let me show you what's in here. It is these Harvest Snaps. I'm sure you've seen them. My kids actually really like these, and it's a good alternative to candy. A lot of my treat holders hold unhealthy treats, but this one is a little bit better for someone who maybe is trying to be healthier. These are the snack size, and I got these from Boxed.com, but I've also seen them on Amazon. They come, in a box of like 20 or so. And so I just made a little box to hold it. And on the front, what I did is kind of a collage of the vegetables, and I spritzed them so they would kind of spread and have a watercolor feel. So let's do that part first. So we'll give it some time to dry. I am using a piece of our new watercolor paper. We actually have watercolor paper in the catalog that is new. It looks like this. It comes in a package that looks like this. And what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to put down some grid paper, and I'm just going to stamp the veggies all over using my classic inks. We're going to start with the tomatoes, and I'm going to use Old Olive for the little branch. So let's do one there and one kind of down here. I want some of them going off the page. And then we'll use, of course, Real Red. And let's see, we're going to get this to line up. Now this is one of our distinctive stamps, which means it looks like it has lots of layers to it when it's just really a flat stamp. Isn't that kind of cool? All right, let's do this one. Right there. And while we have the red, let's go ahead and do one of our bell peppers. I think we'll do it over here, kind of going off the page. All right, we're going to clean that color off of there. And we'll switch over to Mango Melody for a yellow orangey pepper. This is my favorite one right here in the middle. I want it to be seen, so I'm going to put it right there. And I think I'll do one kind of over here in the corner like that. Let's see, I didn't get that corner. There we go. Now let's do the stems for those. I'm using soft suede. Right there and right there, and that one doesn't need it because it's going halfway off. All right, how about the little peas? We'll bring the Old Olive back, and we'll do some of those peas down here and some of those peas up here. And last but not least, my favorite stamp, the avocado. We love avocados around here, so I couldn't wait to use that avocado stamp. All right, now one last thing, that avocado pit. We'll take that circle and do one right there and one right there. All right, now that we have our collage, let me get all of the ink out of the way so we don't have a catastrophe when our project landing in our inks. We're going to spritz it with our spritzer. These are from Stampin' Up. They come 2 to a package for just $3, and you can fill them with water, with alcohol. You can put drops of re-inker in there so it's colored, but this time we're just using water, and I'm just going to spritz it a little bit. Start out with just a little. Look how vivid it makes those colors, and give it some time. Walk away from it, let those colors slowly seep. Let me show you what it looks like when you don't do a little bit at a time. This one, although I do like it, I put a bunch of water on it. See how those spread out, but I didn't like how those just kind of blended together. You can see here on this one, I did less. So just give it a little bit of time and just a little bit of water at a time, not too much. See, I just want to spritz it a ton, but we're not going to do that. All right, we're going to set it aside and give it time. All right, while we wait for that piece to dry, let's make our box. You're going to need 2 pieces of old olive cardstock. And by the way, if you click on the link here in the description, it'll take you to my blog. You'll find 3 Garden Goodness projects. There's a PDF under the last photo. In the second page of that PDF has everything listed that you'll need, as well as all of the measurements, okay? So don't feel like you have to frantically write it down. Just go over there and print it off. The first piece you're gonna need is 7 5/8 by 7. You're gonna score the short side at 3/4 and 6 1/4. And the long side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 6 3/8, and 7 1/8. Now the shorter piece, the smaller piece, is 5 by 7, and you're just going to score the long side at 3/4 and 6 1/4. Now you want to grab a bone folder to make these lines nice and crisp. All right. There we go. Now this one has a few more lines, but using a bone folder really does make your box go together better. Sometimes I get lazy and don't use it, and I can tell a difference. I really can. All right, so get all of these on. Now, a bone folder you can get from Stampin' Up. You can add it on to your order. It's not too expensive, and it is a nice thing to have. Okay, so on our bigger piece, we're going to cut some pieces out. First, grab your little snips and cut the 4 corners, okay? Cut them out. And actually, yeah, we're going to cut the 4 corners out. And then right here, we're going to cut these 2 tabs here, these 2 long tabs. We're going to cut the corners off. That's going to help them go into our box a little bit better, okay? Just a smoother fit. Now, decide which end you want to be the top. We'll say this end right now. And I am going to snip these tabs from the side like that. That way they're going to fold into our box. This is the lid. See how that's going to fold in? We want to take these tabs and cut them in half. That's going to make them go in that box a little bit easier. All right. Now down here at the bottom, all we need to do is cut those tabs up like that. All right. And they're just going to fold in the bottom and we won't see them. So it doesn't matter. You don't need to cut them in half. Okay. Okay. Now we've got this piece and you can see how this box is going to go together like that. I actually prefer for the top to go on to the top to go on the front, the top to go on the top. That's what I'm trying to say. So that you have these smooth edges here, okay? So get your tear and tape or your Tombow liquid, whichever you prefer, and put it on the inside of these tabs right here. And let's see if my tear and tape will do what it's supposed to do. There we go. Now we're going to make sure that this is a nice and perfect fit. Let's actually take this and flip it over and line this up right here. Okay. And then flip this one over and line it up right there. So now you have your box, okay? So we're going to fold these tabs in and fold the bottom up. Whoops. The bottom up. And actually, I'm going to put some adhesive there because I want that to stay in. We're not going to ever open that bottom. So let's just put some tear and tape there. There we go. And fold that right in. If I don't get it stuck to my fingers, there we go. Perfect. All right, now you can see how these little guys poke in like that. And you know, sometimes I just feel like for some reason they're not going in very well. And if that happens, just take your snips and cut those corners off. The reason why we keep this little flap is so that there's not a gap there in our paper. It leaves kind of an open gap if you cut those tabs off, but you don't really need them for anything. So just making them fit in there a little bit better. And that's how the lid goes. And there's our box. Okay, now let's decorate our box. One thing we need to do before we bring back over our beautiful vegetables is to stamp a strip with our buffalo background check. If you are a follower of my blog, you know that I love the buffalo background check. I use it all the time, and I'm going to use it with my Stamparatus because that makes it just easier to stamp. I think you get a better image when you stamp it. Now let's see, I'm going to kind of eyeball it right. Let's put it right there so it's right in the middle. This is just half a sheet of cardstock. I'm actually going to cut it down to the size that we need in a minute, but it's easier to just stamp a whole big piece. And then you've got a little bit left over for another project if you'd like. I'm going to ink it in Old Olive. And if you've noticed, I put the case there underneath to give me a even, it's not, laying down at an angle, so I can ink it up easily. Now this is why I like using the Stamparatus. I didn't get a great image, so I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to keep doing it until I like my image. Now my ink pad seems to need some ink. I think that's part of the problem. You really shouldn't need to do it more than twice, but we'll do it one more time for good measure. Now we're going to cut this piece to 6, let's see, well, I don't have that measurement listed. I will add it when I'm done. So when you get the PDF, it will be there. We need just this size, this piece to go right across here. And it looks like I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So let's cut it down to 4 rows, and then we'll just trim it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now look, you've got that piece for another project. Put it in your scrap bin or scrap drawer, wherever you keep your scraps. All right, see how it's going to go across there? Okay, let's bring our piece over. Very nice. I didn't do too much water this time, you can see. Isn't that nice? Just a little bit of bleeding out, as I call it. Okay, now get your adhesive. You can use tear and tape here. You can use your snail, your Tombow, whatever you like. And I'm going to put it right across there. Let's make sure it's straight. Then I'm going to adhere it to a piece of Mossy Meadow. And this piece is 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. That piece of watercolor, by the way, is 5 by 4 1/2. I'm not sure I said that at the beginning. All right, let's get it on here. And one thing I want to do, and I probably should have done this before we put down that strip, but it'll be fine. I wanted to add some speckles. So I got my Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend and my brush tip, and I'm just going to kind of flick it on there just to make it a little more artsy. Isn't that nice? I love that. Okay, now we can take our scissors. We've got that on there. Let's get rid of that. And I can trim it. Actually, let's use, since we have the trimmer, we'll make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. Okay, now some linen thread, which I should have opened. It's brand new. I go through this linen thread like crazy. I should order it in bulk, really. All right, now I'm going to take my linen thread and I'm going to wrap it. Let's see, I'm going to start about right here. I'm going to leave an end long enough for a bow, and I'm going to wrap it around twice, kind of creating a crisscross there. And we're going to tie it. Notice how I've left it on the little bolt so that I don't cut off more than I need and waste it. This way, I can just cut it off right where I need it like that. All right, let's get this fixed. We want this perfect. We can mess around with it, make it do what you want. You're the boss. All right, now last thing is the sentiment. I have cut out a Whisper White piece. This little piece, this little shape is from the Detailed Bands die. They're really neat. And I'm going to stamp our sentiment, good luck, good health, and happiness, in Old Olive right there. I'm going to do the banner in a color we haven't used yet, one of my favorites, Soft Seafoam, right above. And then grab the Wishing You and do that one right there. Wishing you good luck, good health, and happiness. And of course we need a couple of dimensionals for this because I love dimensionals. And we're going to put that right a little bit up. How about right there? And last but not least, let's add a trinket, shall we? These are the Bird Ballad trinkets. They're really cool and vintagey looking. I'm going to use that flower trinket. And I'm just going to get a glue dot. And I'm going to put it right on top of that bow. That'll kind of tame that bow too. Make it stay exactly where we want it. And last but not least, let's put it on our box. Lots of adhesive here. You don't want it to fall off. And voila, there we go. All right, you guys, what do you think? Some of you have told me you don't like this stamp set, and I am shocked by that. It's adorable, and you can make this cute little box that won't stay closed. That needs to have a treat in it. That's what he's telling me. Put the treats in me. All right, you guys, I hope you like it. Let me know if you have questions, and make sure you hop over to my blog to grab that PDF and check out the other projects I did with Garden Goodness. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.